Fala galera, bem-vindos a mais um episódio do Sonoridades. Hoje a gente está bem legal. A gente tem um papo com a Sharon Del Adel do Temptation. Eles estão vindo agora no Summer Breeze aqui no Brasil, que acontece nesse fim de semana. A gente falou de várias coisas, do disco novo do Beat Out, que saiu no ano passado, várias coisas interessantes, várias pontuações que as pessoas talvez não tivessem ideia, agora estão tendo, principalmente sobre questões de política, de mundo, de comportamento e principalmente sobre as mulheres mesmo. Falamos também de inteligência artificial, como é que a inteligência artificial ponderou esse disco, mas, né, ajudou bastante em várias coisas nas criações visuais desse trabalho. Falamos de Spotify, de streaming, de vídeos que eles estão fazendo, de questões diferentes de uma série de coisas. Espero que vocês gostem. Essa é a primeira de algumas que nós fizemos para o Summer Breeze. Espero trazer elas até o festival. Um grande abraço. Curta aí. Compartilhe.
Your equality, your vanity, your relevancy, sexuality and venomous perversity.
I'm Sharon. It's a pleasure to talk with you.
Likewise, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, as a huge fan of Within Temptation and your work as a singer, it's an honor and a pleasure for me, I have to say.
Thank you very much. Wow, good to hear that. Happy to hear it.
Ooh, I got the spark like a fire. You're going down for milk and honey. With every touch, unidentified desire.
So, how are expectations to be here in Brazil after 10 years and to play on Summer Breeze?
Well, it's our first festival ever. And so I'm really looking forward to it. It's been 10 years, way too long, and I can't wait to come back. I can remember very much the last show we did in Brazil, because I can remember that people were singing at the gate before they came in. It was like I think it's like a circus kind of environment. I don't know. The tent was round, I believe. The venue was round, I believe, and it was outside partially and partially inside. And you know, when it was a party since it started, and it was also like we played a little bit longer because we were like, okay, they're not tired yet. Let's continue. And no, but it was like sweaty, intense, and full of love for music. So that's my memory of the last show we did in Brazil.
Yeah, and what can you spoil about the set list? Because you just released a new album.
Yeah.
It's a great album. I really love it. And you
Thank you.
have a lot of background from other albums that people really love. So how you mix this on the set list?
Well, we haven't been in Brazil for a long time, so I think it's going to be a mixture of new things, but also a lot of old stuff, because I think there's maybe I'm thinking about this because it's more difficult than when you come regularly to a country. Then you say, oh, we played that last time, and then we're going to play now something else. And so I'm thinking of maybe doing a contest like that, people can vote for certain songs. Maybe that's to get an idea of what you want to hear also. Maybe it will make it easier for us. Yes.
Yeah. And what can you say about Bleed Out? Because it's a kind of has a different size, a different side of Within Temptation, and you
Yes,
have
it is.
all this traditional Within Temptation that we really loved. So how do you mix this in such a marvelous thing?
Well, I think the new album, of course, it is quite new and different from what we've done before, but I think it still blends really well with the old songs. We, of course, already played some songs live, and to my opinion, it needs a little bit thinking about like how we're gonna play the set list, and in certain ways, it does fit with the new album as well. So it's always looking to make like a certain setup that works for everyone, and also for that the flow of the set list works. So I think that's it's, but maybe maybe we'll get a more easier job when you tell us what we have to play. So like I said, maybe we'll have a contest, a voting contest.
I will vote. I will vote.
Yeah, you'll vote. Which song will you vote?
Well, I really love Mother Earth. I really love it. Wireless is a great song. I really love it. Ritual, Faster, I really love. I have a lot of songs that I love.
See how difficult it is?
Yes.
So yeah.
You're pushing me into the corner. Don't fight with me. Don't fight with me. Don't fight with me. I'm running with honor or absurdity. For what I see and what I feel. Wake up, I'm defying you. Seeing right through you. Once I believe that you wake up, feel what's coming.
What was the hardest part of this album? Just on recording, inspiration, production, because we recorded during the pandemic, is correct?
Partially and after. You know, we weren't allowed to travel a lot, so in the moments that we could travel, we did, and we went to Sweden, or our producer came to the Netherlands to record us and to think how to shape the ideas that we had. And so it was during Corona and after Corona. So it's not an album inspired by Corona at all. Nothing, none of the topics are about Corona. We just want to forget about Corona as fast as possible.
Yeah. And so what can you say about Wireless, Ritual, and Don't Pray for Me? Because all the fans that I asked, they keep asking me to ask about these three songs. So
What the lyrics are about?
yeah, the lyrics and the videos and everything else.
Okay. Which one should I start with?
You choose.
Okay, well, let's start with Wireless. Well, of course, we were very much inspired by the war going on that started after the pandemic in the Ukraine by Russia. And for us, there's two sides to this story, of course. It's like we've written a lot of songs about this war, and one of them is about actually how a country indoctrinates their people, saying there's fascists in the Ukraine, for instance, and sending them off to war, and then realizing that, you know, I believe some people just want to do harm, and they're bad people. But there's also a group of people who are not well informed because they don't have the technology at home, or are not that educated, or well, simply didn't, you know, they were just believe what the government was saying all those years. And so Wireless is about the Russian soldier being sent off to the front and finding out that they don't have to free people from fascists, because they're not, first of all. Second of all, because and these people are fighting back, so they don't want to be rescued. They're not welcomed with open arms. And then you are there at the front between fires, you know, because behind you there is, you know, people behind you, if they will shoot you if you could turn back. But that's what happened in Russia now. And in front of you there's an enemy, because they will fight you to the death defending their own country, and you don't actually want to fight them because you didn't realize how the reality really was. And that's what this story is about. So like sending soldiers off to war, and they find themselves in a situation where they're wireless, like nobody's out there to save them, or to be their backup, or to have a change of heart, of plans, because they're there with their brothers, fathers, sons, and they're all getting killed eventually, you know, or harmed, and you're in a horrible situation. That's what Wireless is about. And so that's one song.
A bloody hello. A bloody hello. Try to elevate your demise. You got everything sanctified. All the shattered and swallows. We force through the gauntlet, like mice in a maze we're running. We know we go under, like moths to the flames we're falling. We know.
The other song was
Ritual.
Ritual. Ritual is a bit a naughty song. Well, I've always been a Quentin Tarantino fan, and he wrote a script for Dusk Till Dawn. And ever since we were writing this song, I thought like, okay, this is in the same kind of mindset as From Dusk Till Dawn, the movie, and which was also by Roberto Rodriguez, together with Quentin Tarantino, who wrote and made this movie. So yeah, it was just a crazy road movie, and it turns completely mad at 12 o'clock when all these ladies who are in the bar, the titty twister, start, you know, turning around and starting becoming vampires. And these ladies would have been, yeah, ignored, being touched by customers all night long, and then they have their revenge. And I've always was complete shock when I was watching the movie, because I thought it was a road movie, and that's how it started. So, and there was complete a complete mess in my mind, you know. It's like this, I didn't understand it at all, but I loved it because it was such a game twister and game changer in the movie. And so I felt like if I would be, you know, if this movie would ever come out, this would be nice, actually, a nice soundtrack to that kind of atmosphere and movie and theme. So it's a bit of a Vampire Slayer video as well, made by AI, which is quite controversial for a lot of people. And so yeah, those kind of things are all in there. It's about women's rights. It's about, you know, how men treat women sometimes. Of course, it's completely exaggerated, but it's, you know, if you make a statement, then you have to make fun as well, because we had just a lot of fun making this video, making it very extreme, over the top. Don't take it too seriously, but of course these things do happen, so we do address them, but it's sometimes in the video a bit much. Also how the ladies deal with these men, it's quite brutal, but I just think it's a party song as well, in a way. So it has a lot of aspects out there and in there. And yeah, then we have the song, of course, which was the third one, was
Don't Pray For Me.
Oh, Don't Pray For Me. That's a serious one again, because I was asked to write an article for, well, an essay for an English magazine for International Women's Day. And so I chose the subject abortion. Not that anyone is ever, of course, for abortion, but I was wondering what the rights are of women in Europe. And I was really shocked, because in Poland, for instance, even with incest or rape, you're not allowed to have an abortion. There's maybe one exception to the rule when the woman and the baby are maybe in danger, and that's the only reason. And then you need all kinds of legal forms, and it's very complicated to get those. So, and I was like, this is Europe, you know, they're part of Europe. How can this be? And then I saw Italy, where, well, there's a lot of right-wing parties in a lot of countries. Also in my own country, unfortunately, nowadays, chosen. And you see that they have different values, and they look upon certain laws in a different way. And also in America, and I'm not sure how it is in Brazil, but, you know, it's not like any of these women choose to have an abortion because it's fun, of course. And so I believe, you know, it inspired me to write a song like Don't Pray For Me, because I believe in the right of the individual to write and choose for their own body and their own life. Because a lot of times what you see, for instance, in Poland, is you're not allowed to have an abortion, and there's no sex education in schools anymore. So the reason that there are abortions is probably also because there's no sex education anymore. And then there's no solution for those women. For instance, like the government doesn't help them when they eventually get those children. It's like, you know, they're not being loved maybe, and being brought to orphanages. So if there's a lot of problems you get from not having an abortion right. So those kind of things inspired to write Don't Pray For Me. It's like, okay, apparently certain people are not allowed to make certain choices in their own life, and I think that's very difficult. Same goes for a lot of LGBTQ plus people. I believe also really in religion, a lot of times are judged and excluded from religion, and those kind of things, just that I have a problem with that. So don't pray for me is really for all those people who make decisions that doesn't fit in certain communities that have certain ideas, and that I really believe in, finding your own happiness within religion or maybe outside of religion, but just finding happiness in general, because that will make more happy people, and happy people will give a good society, I think.
Yeah, and what's interesting about Don't Pray for Me is a song that's about exclusion and inclusion, and
Yes.
everything you put on the table, and you just choose, but my choice is my choice and your choice is your choice, kind of.
Yes, exactly. I don't say you can't have an abortion or you should have an abortion. No, it's like everybody should choose their own thing, you know. It's like, yeah.
And the video is outstanding.
Sorry? The video. Thank you.
Yeah, it's outstanding. It's the people are still talking about it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Will all who wish to die please raise their hands?
I cannot breathe for you. Trying over and over, denying what I feel. And every time you bow down your head to pray,
We Need Temptation well, it's always a band that's ahead of time. I mean, when people wasn't talking about transmedia, you just release an album that just made this cross about all the medias available. And nowadays it's quite common. But 10 years later, 10 years ago, we saw it's kind of something fresh and new, and everybody think was something crazy.
Yeah.
Now we have AI release videos with AI, and so how do you see this? How do you deal with AI? It's good, it's bad.
The thing is with AI, well, we wanted to use AI because we were in the studio and we were talking to our producer, our producer who makes the videos. He's like like a video producer, and he said like, okay, what are we gonna do? Well, we thought of maybe let's make for every song one video, but then very basic. And then all of a sudden we got this email from him. It's like, oh my God, you should see this. This is an AI generated video, and it looks crazy. It's really good and strange and something really new, and it's really happening right now. Do you still want to make a traditional video? And we said, no, of course not. If everybody's going to use this, who are we to, stay behind? Everybody's using it. And so we felt like, okay, let's try this. And then we did like a visualize for wireless. And we loved it actually. But we also saw that it's really difficult to make a video with AI. First of all, lip sync doesn't work. So we left that out with the visualizer. And because we had filmed myself and tried to put it in there, but it was worthless. Didn't look very good. And so we said, okay, let's do it just a visualizer, and then we're just going to put in words that fit with the song. And so we did that, but then still was very difficult because we had Darth Vader marching along with Russian soldiers, looking like Russian soldiers. And mushrooms coming out of their helmets. It was crazy, it's like stupid things happening. And that's typically what happens with AI. It does what it does, it's like you can't control it completely. So the more extreme you make it, it will make it an idea about that itself. And it's a bit out of control. So it was very difficult to make a visualizer. It took us quite some time, but still we were not discouraged because we got, a lot of positive as negative reactions to the visualizer, and still felt like, okay, we still want to do 2 more videos with AI because of the fact that it's something new, and we just want to explore this new tool. And it's really challenging and not particularly always better than a real video, but it is something new again. It's something to look at, and it was fun doing it for us. And for that reason, we did it. And also to have this conversation, it's like stirring up the idea of people talking about it. Some people really got angry about it, and some really loved it. It's like it's a new technology that you can't stop, to my opinion. And it's like in the time that we started using machines, and in factories, and people were cut off. We had to redevelop our jobs, I guess, and think about that everything was evolving in a way, and we found our way also. And I think this is like the industrial revolution back then. Is like this is our industrial revolution. We have to figure out how we can use AI in a good way. So maybe, so like for instance, you have AI used also sometimes for in hospitals by doctors trying to find cancer in a way easier way, or faster or more accurate than normal doctors can do with scans. So those kind of things are really good and beautiful, and we shouldn't exclude that just because because there's also dangers to it. People, I understand that people are afraid for their jobs and everything, but like I think it will also bring new jobs again in a different way. So I think it's it's progress in a way. So, and we like progress in a way, and we also understand there's also dangers for the music industry, but still then it's something, I think we have to see and explore. And when if there's a really big problem existing, we have to deal with it then. Unfortunately, AI, like technology, is never tested like medicine is tested, for instance. Like that's something that I was wondering about. Like, okay, how can it be that technology that can be maybe so dangerous, how can it be just been put into the world? Why isn't that tested? Or like, why don't governments get to decide about that up front? It's like, it's a bit in a way it's a bit dangerous. It's like, just let people figure it out themselves and see what happens. And in a way, so, and like medicine is always tested before anyone can use it. It's like, I think maybe there's a way we should do that same thing more or less with technology. If you have a good government, of course, they don't want to steal it from you, of course. That's another thing again, but never mind. I can continue talking about this endlessly. So it's there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons towards the subject, and we realize that, of course.
Yeah. And also nowadays we have this streaming, we have streamings, we have everything else, and we have vinyl and cassettes.
Yes.
So how do you see this anachronic thing, this duality? Because we have digital music, then we can just put on our phone and do this and listen, and have the cassettes, we have to search for cassettes and how do you see this?
How I see it's like, well, we had to go for talking about adapting as a band. We come from a time that when we started, we still were sending cassettes as demos to our record company, and then all of a sudden the CD came, and then we had, of course, the online streaming. So all of those kind of things we had to go through. And I think, where we are now, where there's just streaming, I really love the idea that people still love to buy a vinyl or still love to buy a cassette, because that reminds me of my childhood as well. It's like I can understand people that want to have a physical product. So yeah, I love that. So I don't think it's crazy to still buy those things while you're never going to play them, except for the vinyl, of course. But I don't use the CDs anymore, by the way, but I do love vinyl and cassettes still. Yeah, I even got this cassette player still. So
Really?
yeah, I do. I bought a new one.
Because I don't know if you know this, but Within Temptation is kind of one of the best-selling cassettes on China.
In China? How did
Yeah.
you know? Really?
Because, yeah, we have a singer here in Brazil, Ivan Lins. He's one of the Brazilian's most sell artists on China, also in cassettes.
No, but how do you know we are as well?
Because I search it.
Oh my God! Where can you find it? Where can you
I have a friend who lives in China, and he's kind of
Okay,
aware
but
of
is
this
it in
thing.
so we sell we do really well with cassettes in China.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Never played there.
So they can play there with cassettes.
Yeah. No, they're probably very happy with the cassettes that we. Yeah, exactly.
I go faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, and I can't live in a fairy tale of lies, and I can't hide from the feeling 'cause it's right.
Coming back to streamings, I was searching and I saw that Within Temptation is really good on streamings also. So what is the secret for this? To pass the
streaming?
algorithm. Yeah, to pass the algorithm, because we have that 15 seconds barrier. People have to listen at least 15 seconds to count on streaming.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know what the success is. I think if people, of course, we have like a quite a following, and not everybody can come to shows. Maybe I don't know. It's of course the easiest ways to have access to your music. So I believe that's the secret probably for a lot of bands. And word of mouth still. I think a lot of people that don't know about us get to know us through friends. I think, and family. Yeah. At least that's my nostalgic and romantic vision on that.
I really like it. Yeah, it's my vision too.
Yeah, oh, great.
I knew Within Temptation by a friend who showed me a CD, and then back on
Okay.
2000. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's a long time.
yes.
Yeah.
Long,
We
long
grew
time
up
ago.
together.
Yeah, I have the second album. From the second album, from nowadays I have all the albums. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Thank you.
And it's a real pleasure. It's a real pleasure. I'm kind of a little nervous to talk with you, but it's okay.
Oh, don't worry. This is fun.
Yeah. So I was watching the concert you did on Hellfest with all that stage and all that design of stage and sound design. We're gonna play with the same stage here in Brazil, or gonna be a little different?
Well, it's going to be a little bit different because we have to bring most things from Europe, but we're going to make a special one, especially for the festival that we're going to do, because it has a different size of stage. So we have to look at those kind of things, and so we're going to try make something special out of that, and do our best really. So, like I said, we're going to do a contest for the set list, and we're going to work on a new stage. You know how it looks, so it's going to be different from Hellfest, but it's going to be cool and beautiful as well. Don't worry.
And
Especially for Brazil.
yes,
Summer
yes.
breeze. Yay!
And I saw the stage from the tour we did with Iron Maiden and with Evanescence.
Yeah.
And what is most incredible is how it all worked together, because are some bands that have some problems, and then everything melts and everything has a context in the songs, and it's really cool. I really like it, and the fans
Yeah.
also like it.
Oh, great. Well, we you know, it's like both were very different from each other, of course. We had a very simple stage setup with Iron Maiden, but still atmospherical, and just try to, well, you know, it's like it was really like an adventure for us to play in America in such big venues. We do our own shows, of course, in America and Canada as well, but the places they play is like humongous, the biggest there are. So it was really, yeah, an honor to play for them, because there are heroes as well. And it was fun meeting the bands a lot of times after the show, and especially Steve Harris, who's been a supporter of the band since, well, I think since you discovered us, more or less. It was the first time around that time that we played with them in Paris. And ever since, we've been asked to come along with them on many shows. And sometimes we do because we like to. And America was a chance for us as well, of course. And yeah, very happy to do so. And Evanescence was a different story again, but also like another band from the scene, more or less, I guess, that we both got compared to each other. And but it was a lot of fun to do that as well. And especially, I think, for the fans, because it was like two bands from the scene playing together. And then, yeah, it was like both had a really big show. It was really fun doing that.
And I saw it; the people really love it. saw some videos and the crowd really, 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 really loved it.
Yeah, thank you. Well, there's going to be a DVD next year around April, something like that. So yeah.
Coming back to Bleed Out, your new album,
Yes.
did you get surprised by the reaction of the fans, the critics? Because everybody was talking that is one of the biggest releasing of the year, one of the greatest albums from within Temptation, and an album with, that is set to redefine some things on heavy music. So how do you see, how do you deal with such thing?
But these comments, well, I'm really happy that people are so positive about the album. And the thing is, I think where we got a lot of positive reactions as well was because the fact that we talk about politics, which we have always been inspired by, but not maybe been so transparent about it. And this time it was really even more so than Resist, I guess. It felt necessary. Well, it was like it wasn't like we felt we had no choice. That was the feeling, because everything that we were writing about was about things happening in the in the Ukraine, in Iran, a lot of things within religion in many countries. And it was like there's so many things wrong with this world at the moment, and there always have been things that were not okay or wrong as well throughout time. It seems like we never seem to solve anything, but only make it worse. And not like music can help you make people change their mind, but it was more like we had to deal with those subjects ourselves because we're very frustrated in a way. So saying that people felt that this was an important album, that's a compliment. But it was like, for us, like, it was just dealing with life in general, I think, which a lot of people have. Everybody just had the pandemic, and then we get a war and another war, and now Gaza and Israel. It's such a lot of sadness, actually. It's like, hopefully that we will get better times, and yeah. And this album just helped us deal with it and address certain things and be more open to how we see things. And although we don't talk about everything what happens in the world, of course, because like what happened in the Middle East, it has been going on for many years. And also there's a lot of things going on in China, and there's a lot of things going in North Korea, South Korea. You can talk about so many things, even in South America, the whole continent. There's a lot of things going on, and so but these were topics that just came on our plates when we were writing. So like it was like in the news, and we just talked about it, and all of a sudden we wrote a song about it. And that's how it sometimes goes. It could have been also different subjects, but it's those are the things that came to us.
This is the real life.
The real life, yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. And if you have to resume your entire career in one song or an album, which one would be and why?
Wow. Our own albums or someone else's?
Yeah.
Our
your
own
album.
I think maybe then we should take the last one, because of the fact that it's the one that we are most open about. A lot of things that we wrote in the past were the same concerns about climate changes, like with Mother Earth we had, and also with on the Silent Force. It's also about climate change, it's about politics, it's about a lot of things. But this is the first time that we were really open about it in interviews, and there was not much metaphors used in this way, and it was very clear what the songs were about because we were very direct. And so I think this, and the song is like Don't Pray For Me, I think. Yeah.
And just to finish, if you have to give yourself an advice when you're young, and if your young version had to give to your new version an advice, what would be?
Oh, well, two things. It's like, don't worry, just live and enjoy life, and be with the people that you love most of the time. Try to be there as much as possible. That's one thing. And another thing is like, be a voice. It's like nothing's going to change unless you do something yourself as well. It's not like we as a band can do that much, but we can reach a lot of people. But also I think anyone who's listening to it can do everybody can do like a small participation in making this world a bit better, and to be more aware of it, and see like if they can help some kind of organization, or maybe do something that, you know, it's all small things. You can't change the world on your own, but all together I think we can make, well, who knows, we can might make it a bit better. And the effort is already giving a lot of peace of mind, I guess. So yeah.
Sharon, thanks so much for your time. Thanks so much. Hope to see you here in Brazil.
Thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm actually watching now a movie on Netflix called Bom Dia Veronica, which is in Sao Paulo. And I love it. I'm really like binge watching it at the moment. So getting into the vibe of Brazil. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Line up, 'cause I'm imperial, yeah.